Before there was Michael Jordan in Chicago, there was Reggie Theus. A lot of people, unless you Chicago for show, you don't really know that. But before there was Michael Jordan, there was Reggie Theus in Chicago. He was the man. He had a Jerry curl. This is the closest thing we could get to the Jerry curl. So we had to make him look like this, like he is like a Puerto Rican dude in a breakdancing group or something. But this is what Reggie Theus looked like. I think I did a pretty good job on Reggie Theus, to be honest, to not have a Jerry curl to give him. The 82-83 season, he was 25. He averaged 24 a game, 6 assists, 3.7 rebounds, 1.7 steals. He shot 48% from the field. Only shot 23% from three-point range. Three-pointer was really new at that point because it only had broke in the 79-80 season. But the best he ever shot from three was actually in his last season. He was 33 years old. Crazy thing about it, Reggie Theus' last season in the NBA, 33, he averaged 18.6 points a game. Usually guys don't retire when they average 18.6 a game, but that's what he averaged. And that was his last season, and he was only 33 years old. So Theus is, to me, I actually believe that Reggie Theus is one of the more underrated players in NBA history. I really believe that. I mean, if you look at his, now I didn't base this off career numbers, but just for the sake of this conversation, 18.6, this is his fourth career. 18.5 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.2 steals. He shot 47% from the field. He shot 83% from the free throw line. The thing that hurts Reggie Theus is that he played on pretty much just about all bad teams. Just almost like his whole career was on bad teams. So when that happens, yeah, it's tough. So, I mean, he played, what did he play? 12, 13, 14 seasons, right? And in those 14 seasons, he went to the playoffs 4 times. Only 4 times. And he only made it to the second round once. So that would be why he is one of the reasons why you don't hear a lot about him, because his teams didn't win. But he put up some numbers. So this is Reggie Theus. If you're from Chicago and you ain't never heard of him, consider yourself educated, because come on now. You can't be from the city of Wynn and you don't know about Reggie Theus. That's what people from other places, they'd be like, who is Reggie Theus? You from Chicago, you better know who Reggie, you better at least know who he is. You ain't got to know his stats or nothing, but you should know who he is. Look at the badges, 13 of them. He didn't get any golds. Didn't give him any gold. Because most of the time when I give out the badges, the gold or whatever, a lot of it's for reputation. And, Reggie ain't got that much of a reputation. He ain't got that much of a reputation. So here's that. The ratings only gave him a 78. I didn't go crazy. See, I didn't go all Chicago on y'all. Because I could have been like, Chicago, stand up. We finna rap. But I didn't. I tried to keep it realistic. I tried to break it down. Because I could have been like just repping Chicago. I could have done that. But I didn't do it. I just kept it in order. 78 overall for Reggie Theus. Went to UNLV. There's another thing. I think he might be the head coach of UNLV now. I know he's a head coach somewhere. I can't remember where. So he's a college head coach. I can't remember where. I can look it up, but I'm not going to do it right now. So there you go. Reggie Theus. Let's move on. One of the ones I put out that I really wasn't proud of is the Ray Allen. I'm still not ultra proud of this one, but I do think it's better than what I did before. So I've updated the roster to have Ray Allen there. The roster's not available for people that are still asking me that. My target date is February the 25th. I'm hoping I can stick to that. So I'm grinding. And I've also made a slight adjustment. I'm not going to put out highlights at the end of every video. I'm not going to stop putting out highlights. I'll probably put out highlights like once a week, just showing some of the guys I made through the week. So that'll be like a separate video altogether at the end of the week, just compiling some highlights. Highlights might even be a little bit more stylish considering they'll get their own video. But you'll see. We'll see what that, what that whole thing is. But this is the updated Ray Allen. It's better. Still not perfect, but it is better. So there's that. I still might go back and revisit Vince Carter, too, because that's one of the other ones that I was, like, really not whatever with. So that's it. But one of the main things this episode is about Vin Baker, another Milwaukee Buck. Check him out. I think I did a good job. I really do. I think I did. See the smallness of the head and the slanted of the forehead? I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let's take a look at the signature stuff. Oh yeah, Vin Baker. You know, Vin Baker was a really dominant player at one little stretch of his career early on when he was with the Bucks. Vin Baker was the business. Played in Milwaukee, so you know when you play in Milwaukee, you don't get all that much love, right? But I'm telling you, the dude was a very good player. Now, if you take a look here, look at the age here. We took the 20. I'm sorry, what did we do? We took the 25-year-old Vin Baker. He went to the All-Star game that year. He had actually gone to the All-Star game 4 years in a row. This particular season was the 96-97 season. 21 a game, 10.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.4 blocks. He shot 50% from the field. We saw a little bit of the signature stuff. Let's go back and look at a little bit more. We're going to look at the ratings, of course, and the badges and all that. But nothing too crazy, or nothing too out of the ordinary, I should say, when we're looking here at the signature stuff for Vin Baker. 6'11", could play power forward or center. Athletic and versatile, basically. I believe he had, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he had a problem with alcohol during his during his career, and it kind of, affected his career for more or less. He did play until he was 34 years old, but if you look at his numbers, they consistently dropped off. I didn't mean to do that. They consistently dropped off, and so some people say that was what it was about. Went to Hartford. See his overall ratings in 84. So that's pretty good, based on the scales of what I've been, dealing with thus far. So if you're from Milwaukee and you really followed his career, you might really dig this inclusion because he's not one of the more obvious people to be in the Legends roster, but I got him. I got him in there. Let's take a look at the badges. He got 13 of them, only one goal. I gave him the goal for the screen outlet because he is a really good candidate for the screen and roll because he can hit the outside jump shot and athletic enough to put the ball on the floor and roll to the bucket. So this is Vin Baker. Let's move it. All right, last but not least for this episode, we got Keith Van Horn. He had a pretty good career. He only one season in his career, which was his last one, did he not average double figures. He retired at 30, which is really pretty young. The season I took of his was the 1999-2000 season. He was 24 years old, playing for the New Jersey Nets. 19.2 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 2 assists, 0.8 steals, and 0.8 blocks. Shot 85% from the free throw line, 45% from the field, but he shot 37% from three-point range. The high socks, the red hair, tried to make him look, a little like himself with the freckles and the paler skin. Couldn't make him quite as thin as he was. That's one thing I hope they bring into next year's game is body morphing so that we can, thin guys out and all that kind of thing. So, but yeah, pretty good player. Van Horn was never really all that physical, and I guess people kind of wanted him to turn into that, but it's more like a stretch four. I think even though stretch fours were kind of in play or whatever when he was in the league, I think they're even more in play now. And if he'd come along now, maybe he plays even longer than he did. I don't know. But still, like I said, had a good career. Here's the ratings. He got a 79. Not a spectacular athlete, but good enough. Good enough as we roll through this. I just never thought he had like that fire, though. That dog in him. You hear that people say that sometimes. I just never thought he really had that. So held him back a little bit in a few instances here. It's kind of like he played more of a power forward, but his game was more small forward. So he's kind of got stuck in between some ratings, as you see here with the speed and the quickness. So, it is what it is. Let's look at the badges. Got 6 of them, none of them gold, but it is what it is. So now it is time for the clue. Now check this out. Get your internet ready. The Houston Rockets have actually had the #1 pick 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times in their franchise history. Only one of those players has spent their entire career with the Rockets. This is not that hard, but that's the hint for next week. I appreciate y'all watching. Peace.